All the data you see on FPL Today is brought to you by the Fantasy Football Hub, who are offering viewers of FPL Today a cool 25% off discount on membership if you sign up before the beginning of the season. Being a member of the Hub gains you access to the same information I use to create these videos. The Hub is one of the fastest growing fantasy football communities, with team reveals from top fantasy football managers, Opta stats, fixture difficulty tables, and articles to help you make the best decisions you can in FPL. To claim this 25% discount before it's too late, click the link in the description down below or use the code TODAY25 when signing up. What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today. On today's video we'll look at the cheap defenders that could help you afford the big hitters in the Fantasy Premier League. We'll look at the players kind enough on the budget at 4.5 million or less that could still get you clean sheets and maybe even the cheeky potential attacking return or two that could really boost our FPL points total and help us climb the Fantasy Premier League ranks. So let's get straight into the video, and we start off with Tariq Lamptey at 4.5 million from Brighton. Lamptey and Brighton don't have a terrible run of fixtures in the first 6. He also broke into the side late in the season but played in 7 out of their last 8 fixtures, so there's hopes that he has broken into the first team. In that time Brighton managed 3 clean sheets and he delivered his 1 season assist in that time too. He created 3 big chances and got an XA of 1.39. Also interestingly, in the first 6, and not just for him but for a player later in this list, he rotates well with Southampton. The first 6 would see you get these following fixtures from a rotation strategy with Southampton. You'd get Crystal Palace away, Newcastle away, Burnley away, West Bromwich Albion at home, Crystal Palace away, West Bromwich Albion at home. While there's probably more away fixtures there than I would like, those are teams that all don't necessarily scream out as high scoring teams. Potentially Lamptey could get you some cheeky clean sheets in the first 6 game weeks. We then move on to Charlie Taylor, and this pick is about as boring as you can get, but Charlie Taylor is recommended so much for a reason. Phil Bardsley and Eric Peters could both take this spot depending on the starting 11, but for now general feeling is Taylor is the first choice left back for Burnley. They will cover Nick Pope's clean sheets without getting his save points. But interestingly, if Taylor gets injured, Peters is the one that has the highest number of shots, key passes, big chances created and expected assists of all 3 of the cheap 4.5 million Burnley defenders. However, you are still getting a defender that got 84 points last season, had 24 appearances, 2 off the bench, 1 assist, 1 big chance created and an expected assists of 0.84. Before we move on, if you enjoy the content in this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Also hit that notification bell to join the notification squad, and in the comments down below let me know who your go-to 4.5 million or less cheap defender is. We now get on to Walker-Pieters at Southampton for 4.5 million. And Southampton are a team that came out very favourably in my fixture video that came out yesterday. They also finished the season very strong last season, only conceding 8 after Project Restart, which included games against both Manchester clubs and Arsenal. So Walker-Pieters, having joined permanently, has decent clean sheet potential in a team that seems to be progressing. Only 1 assist last season, but we have seen games where he's got more than 1 attacking return before, so he could be a great player for your FPL sides. And finally, you're probably assuming I'd be recommending more 4.5 million or 4 million defenders here. However, I'm going to run over the rest of them and suggest why we need to be careful with all of the others that I haven't already mentioned. See, the thing I didn't want to do is come and give you a plethora of options that I didn't actually fully trust and didn't have the JNO stamp of approval. I didn't want someone to watch this video 2 days before the deadline, pick a player I suggested and that player didn't start. Ruben Vinagre is the most glaring omission, but currently rumours suggest that Maitland-Niles could be on his way to Wolves. If Maitland-Niles is on his way to Wolves, I worry about Vinagre's game time. For similar reasons, I can't truly recommend Saliba, as although I think he'll start, he was brought outside of Arteta's reign and I need more certainty before I look to him. Similar reasons for Ferguson and Mitchell from Crystal Palace, as well as Branthwaite from Everton. I'm not 100% sure they will be starters in their sides. They're all cheap enough at 4 million, so if one does come out as a starter, I would suggest you jump on them very quickly, but we still have to wait and see on all 3 of them. And then there's the situation at Leeds. Ayling, Dallas and Alioski all come in looking like good potential candidates for our cheap defender slots. but with a very rough start to their campaign and uncertainty on their actual starting positions, as Ayling has played at centre-back and Dallas has played in midfield, and Alioski isn't a certain starter either. Until I know their role in this season's Leeds side, I cannot recommend any of them over the others. They all have great stats, but diving deeper into their performances, all performed best in certain roles in Bielsa's system. And it's in this role that they got most of their attacking returns. There's also other roles that they have all played in or due to injury weren't playing, and their stats in those other positions are pretty dire. So my worry is Ayling starts as a centre-back, which will really hurt his attacking returns, and potentially Dallas will start as a left-back, where it seems like his attacking potential was better when he was a centre-mid. So for now, there's only 3 that I can comfortably recommend to you guys, and those are the 3 that came before this bit about the rest of the cheap defenders in the game. But if that changes, perhaps we'll do an update video on the 4.5 million defenders. Let me know if you'd be interested in that closer to the start of this season. And before we finish this video, of course, the EOV hashtag question of the day. The question comes from Afek Ron, hopefully I got that correct, and it's Werner and Ziyech worth the risk? They might not start in game week 1, and maybe it's a good idea to bring in 1 or 2 Chelsea players. He mentions Pulisic alongside Werner and Ziyech after game week 2, which is of course the Liverpool game. Now, there's a big reason why I have Werner in my side and Ziyech in my side, and Ziyech is one that if I could figure out someone else, I would prefer to go with them over Ziyech. While I think Ziyech is a very good player, I do worry about the acclimatisation from the Eredivisie to the Premier League. Do I think he could be a success? Most definitely. But I have seen plenty of players come from the Eredivisie with very good stats and not really put in the performance in the Premier League. Kesman, who went to Chelsea, a prime example for me that just pops to my head from seasons past. The difference with Werner is he does come from the Bundesliga, and he's been very consistent in the Bundesliga as one of the best goal scorers, not only in the Bundesliga but in the entire world. He is the 3rd highest scoring striker in all of Europe's elite leagues, and I can't see him having come in not starting when he left RB Leipzig early, potentially not taking part in a Champions League final if RB Leipzig had got there, to make sure he was ready for the start of Chelsea's season. So the fact that he left early and has had more time to be with the Chelsea side makes me think he will start. I also think Chelsea were one of the sides that had the most shots on goal and the most big chances on goal. I think they were 3rd, maybe just after Liverpool, and behind also Man City, who were in 1st. But they didn't convert a lot of those chances because, as much as I like Abraham and I did have Giroud in my side last season, they're not as clinical as someone like Timo Werner potentially can be. So I cannot see in a world where Timo Werner comes in where he doesn't start pretty soon. And the reason I'm really taking the gamble is 38.6% of players currently in the game own Timo Werner. So if he does have a great debut for Chelsea, then I'm looking at a player that some people may have captained, but also a player that could have done really well that over a 1/3 of the game own. Also, with the news that Kai Havertz has come in, there is of course the case that they might not gel well right at the beginning, but the attacking side of Chelsea is starting to look very, very impressive, and Werner or Ziyech or Kai Havertz, depending on his price, could be a way of covering any damage that could be done if Chelsea do start the season off to a flyer. So there you guys have it. Let me know what you think of the 4.5 million and lower defenders in the FPL game and which you want in your FPL sides. Also, thank you for watching this video, and if you've watched to the end, leave a question with the hashtag EOV. So that's the hashtag symbol and then EOV. And any potential questions that have that hashtag on could be answered at the end of a future video on this channel. If this video has helped you, please again consider hitting that like button and subscribing. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.